From the long-awaited Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence to the fantasy of the two legends, Muhammad Ali versus Mike Tyson, here are boxing fights that never happened but totally should have. Have you ever been lying down and had the most random thoughts? What if Iron Mike Tyson got a chance to duke it out against one of his biggest heroes, Muhammad Ali? The thought of Mike Tyson's bombastic peekaboo fighting style slipping left and right. Muhammad Ali floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee could have kept Tyson away. Bro. Or even if Evander Holyfield was able to achieve his rematch against Mike Tyson. The prize? Of course, it would be the missing part of his ear.
Round number 3. As Holyfield looks to counterpunch off the swinging mitt.
My friends, these are the fights that we never got to see, but definitely should have. Let us cry and imagine the glory of these epic matchups. Let's get ready to rumble.
Some drama from your Dennis Ugas, and really the first time adversity in a long time.
Every year, there are hella debates on what fights will or won't happen. The fights people out in the world are most revved up for. And every single year, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence are at the top of the list. They have been teasing us for ages, man. Ever since 2008, Crawford has been making moves across the boxing scene, punching faces and taking names later.
Now at range, trying to place that left hand right to the body. He does a few times.
Finally, back in August 2017, Crawford managed to secure the WBC, WBO, The Ring, Super WWBA, and IBF Super Lightweight World Championship belts. It's like he is good at boxing or something. The dude has been doing his thing in the boxing world. So much so that the masses have spoken, saying a worthy adversary to the raging fists of Crawford would be none other than Errol Spence. But don't sleep on Spence, though. Spence is the current champion of the Unified Welterweight Championship and has also held the IBF title and the WBA since 2022. Pros and fans alike predict that a fight between these two upcoming legends would go down in the history books. With Crawford's impressive technique and the ability to switch fluently from southpaw to orthodox, and Errol Spence's fluency in southpaw, one could imagine that it would throw Errol out of his game.
And defending his belt.
Crawford is like the Kakashi of boxing. He can utilize what Spence can proficiently do, but adapt and utilize other styles as needed. We can only hope that the rumors of their fight in November 2023 are true. Will it finally be the time that these two beasts go at it and provide a show for the ages? I'd love to see an uppercut send one of those two to the moon.
And now sharpshooting to the head is Crawford. Good start to round number 8.
To hang out with Neil Armstrong. Speaking of Armstrong, Roberto Duran versus Henry Armstrong. With a name like Armstrong, you just know that the dude has to be a menace in the ring. A beast of a man that had no intention of allowing you to leave that ring conscious. The guy is brutal. If there was one person that deserves to be heralded as the dude with that dog in him, then Henry Armstrong would 100% be that guy. With 101 knockouts, the only other beast we would all like to see him wrangle with is Roberto Duran. Against an animal like Armstrong, you need someone who can take the punishment and even dish it. Duran fought defensively, with slick footwork to get him in and out, a pure counterpuncher with over 70 knockouts, a sword and shield battle, the best offense and the best defense. But we all know how it would play out. Watch the waiting, Armstrong's power and aggression, and bam, out of nowhere, a straight counter across the chin, lights out, bring out the cradle, because that baby is getting rocked. Matter of fact, put me in there. I'm crying because this next fight has not happened and probably never will, but I really want to see this fight. My boy, Iron Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield. Now, before you say, bro, this one is so obvious, hear me out. See what I did there? Holyfield's ear. Here. Never mind. Imagine two legends who've clashed in the past, one sustaining injury due to the passion that was within the ring. After Mike Tyson apologized and some other restitutions were made, I'm sure we could see the wild durability of Holyfield and the yoked movement of Mike Tyson's peekaboo style.
That postponed the rematch date of May 3rd, but
to show who the real heavyweight champion is. It's a shame that there are so many fantasized fights. You would think if boxing is a business, they would jump at every opportunity. The UFC seems to be able to deliver big fights between top dogs all the time. So what the hell is going on here? Well, it's kind of like trying to set up a blind date. There is a lot of potential, but also a lot of variables that can get in the way. Like cold, hard cash, legendary boxing promoter Bob Arum lays it down like this. Because people want to see Lomachenko. They want to see Crawford. They want to see Canelo. As long as these fighters fight the best fighters available, who wants to burden them with mandates that people aren't interested in? In boxing, everyone wants a piece of the sweet pie, from greedy promoters to managers and TV networks. With so many grubby hands in the cookie jar, it's no wonder why it's hard to get a big fight started. But I guess when you have 30 million up for grabs like Jake Paul did when he lost against Tommy Fury, that's right, 30 million for a loss, you would want your cut immediately too. But your boy, Mike Tyson, has a different opinion about how the business of boxing should work. In an interview, he states, "First of all, before you even get the best fight, the fighter should be the first person to get his check." He added, "Somebody shouldn't get their check before him and then say, 'Hey, you get this.' Oh boy, people are wild for cash, but it's not always money that prevents a good match. There are legit logistical nightmares. I'm not a promoter or manager, but I imagine it can be hella challenging to coordinate schedules and venues. So many different things have to align. Between fighter, promoters, and venues. Man, I'm already getting headaches thinking about it. I barely know what I'm going to eat tonight, and don't even get me started on tomorrow." In the UFC, though, all the fighters are a part of the same organization, making it easier to plan fights. The UFC also has fewer weight classes compared to the boxing world, not to mention an easy ranking system, making it easier to recognize who the real top dogs are. In boxing, it's another nightmare. There's like 15 different weight classes and 6 belts. Are they trying to power up? Because almost all the weight classes have a super version middleweight and super middleweight. I'm joking. But it's getting easier to see why our boxing fantasies never come true. And speaking of never putting on the gloves, this battle would shock the world. Their clash would be the end of that arena. And when the dust settles, only one can be victorious. I'm talking about the two greatest of all time. The greatest Muhammad Ali versus the Iron Mike Tyson. Both would be at their prime, of course. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of heated debates on this topic. Who do you think would win? Objectively, and looking at the stats, I would give it to Ali. Mike Tyson has crazy advantages, and it shows in his fights. He has power, speed, and defense. But Ali has proven time and again that he has the better style, psyche, heart, chin, and stamina. Even though Tyson was superior in those categories, it doesn't mean Ali was trash. Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee is a widely known phrase for a reason. Anyone who did beat Ali had to go at least 10 rounds with him. That is 30 minutes of a guy dancing in the ring. If Tyson wanted to beat Ali, he would have to do it early, but the best boxers in history couldn't. So, sorry, Tyson fans. So from my broken dreams of Muhammad Ali versus Mike Tyson fighting, to the rumored Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence fight, those were the boxing fights that never happened but totally should have.